And good morning, Newton Falls. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Lynch. I'm the city manager here in Newton Falls, Ohio. And this is our morning update brought to you Tuesday and Friday mornings. And we do this so that we can give you some little insight into what's happening here in Newton Falls on a local basis. And we're excited to talk about all the things that are happening in Newton Falls, big and small. And we like to emphasize the things that happen in the business community, big and small. And I say that because the fact that the vast majority of jobs here in the United States of America are actually generated by small businesses. And we have great big businesses that we are successful with here in Newton Falls. Venture Plastics is one of them. Bar Processing is one of them. Quality Switch is one of them. These are really outstanding organizations. However, the small businesses that we have here in town really are outstanding. And folks, when it comes to economic development, you can have a tower that's 1,000 feet high, and it can be 1,000 feet high because it's very large stones it's built with. But it can also be built with very small bricks. And if it's built with very small bricks, it's still 1,000 feet high. And that's kind of what you have to keep in mind. So let's appreciate our small businesses. Really, in America, they're the foundation of the American economy. The Ford Motor Company and General Motors are big, important corporations, as is Google and a lot of other big organizations. But the fact is, most of the jobs come from small businesses. So we want to reach out to them and find out what they're doing here in Newton Falls. And sometimes small also means mighty. That is, they've been around for a long time and done great things for the community. And our live line right now is an outstanding business run by Scott Nussel of Nussel's Florist. And on the live line right now is Scott Nussel. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on today.
We are delighted to have you on the line. Scott, Nussel's has been a fixture in Newton Falls for a long time, hasn't it?
We have been here, I'm third generation down, and we've been here approximately 75 years.
75 years. Oh my gosh, you must have some memorabilia in a closet somewhere that is quite a bit of almost collectible history, isn't it?
Absolutely. Actually, we are the second oldest business. I'm going to give a little plug for another business here in
Yes.
town. James Funeral Home is the oldest business in town at this time.
Isn't that interesting? James Funeral Home is the actual oldest, and Nussel's is the second oldest, but something tells me that those businesses have an interrelationship in some way. Wouldn't you say that, Scott?
Oh, absolutely. We get along very well, work well together, and of course, his business needs my business, and vice
Yeah.
versa. So
Yeah, something
we get
tells
along
you.
very well.
Now, the starter of your business, was it a grandfather or a great-grandfather?
What was that again?
Your
You
business
broke
was
up a little
started
bit.
by your grandfather or your great-grandfather?
Actually, no, it was started way before that. So actually, the business is probably close to 150 years old. There
Oh
were
my
two
gosh.
other previous owners before my grandfather bought into the business.
That is unbelievable. Well, here we are just emerging slowly but surely. We've got a long way to go yet from the COVID-19 era. Scott, what have you had to do differently, especially when we look back at end of March and April and May, those very, very more difficult lockdown periods? How have you been able to cope?
Boy, you hit that exactly on the head. We're just now emerging from this thing. It seems that the second week in March, when this whole thing came to be, all of my vendors dried up. A lot of my flowers come from South America. They plowed their crops under. So it just ruined the whole floral market for quite a while. And it's just now coming back again. As has been said many times in many different businesses, the supply chain is broken. And we're just barely coming out of it again now.
Oh my gosh. What can you do? Because when I think of Nussels, I don't just think of a florist and you're ordering flowers, but has the fact that you have a greenhouse of your own been sort of a way of insulating you from at least some of the impact?
Well, fortunately, I start every my spring stuff in January. So I had everything in place, everything was ready. I lost a couple of employees. They were afraid to come to work because of the COVID, so it doubled the workload on me. But then again, I had everything ready to go. Everything was planted and on its way. So we made it through May, the Mother's Day, Memorial Day rush, and everything seemed to work out well there. But the cut flowers was the biggest problem of the whole business.
Sure. Scott, I imagine that because of the supply chain issues, that you may have had some substitute suggestions. In other words, you might have normally said to someone, go with flower A, but because of supply issues, you've had to substitute flower B. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. The even today, the orders that I get in via email and the computers and so forth, and the people that I speak to over the phone, I have to tell them that this may not be exactly what you see in the picture. There's still quite a bit of floral material that isn't available right now. Like I say, they plowed their fields under. It's like corn where you have to let it grow and mature, and then the next crop comes on. And we're not to that next crop yet with a lot of the floral products.
Scott, there's a word that's almost always associated with the floral business, and that's the word delivery. In the era of the COVID-19, how have you adapted?
That's a good question also. We're doing the contactless delivery where we can. Fortunately, this thing happened in the spring and not in the wintertime. You can't leave flowers sitting on the step. We mask up and kind of do a UPS thing, go up to the door, set it in a safe spot under the porch, under an overhang, push the bell, and let them get it. And that seems to be actually working out pretty well.
Now, you have to watch them actually pick it up, or is it put it on the stoop, ring the doorbell, and then run like heck?
Yeah, that's it. I try when it's works out to watch somebody come to the door and pick it up,
Okay.
just to be safe.
Sure.
A lot of times, though, we just set it on the step, push the bell, and are on our way.
Sure. Scott, given all these substituting things, if a young man wants to send flowers to his girlfriend for whatever event, now what's the flower of the day? You know, there was a time when you'd send a dozen roses. I imagine that's not the case anymore.
Actually, the rose market has been pretty stable.
Really?
It's the other flowers that are the more exotic flowers that are becoming very short supply. And I would encourage anybody, if they want to order flowers, maybe look on the web, look on my website, nusselflorist.com, get a idea of what you'd like, and then call in. Speak to me about it, and I can tell you exactly what we have and how close we can come to that arrangement they saw.
Sure. Scott, one of the, I would think, dreaded enemies of those in the live floral business is the silk flower business. But live flowers still have a great distinction and advantage over silk flowers, do they not?
Oh, absolutely. It seems silk flowers go in spells. Right now, we're kind of actually in a low for silk flowers. It's kind of a trendy item. And like I say, right now, we're kind of in a low trend on silk flowers. People want the live, and that's fine with me.
Sure. Well, Scott, I want to make sure there's full disclosure, but I say it proudly, and that is that the city of Newton Falls buys also by getting donations for the Flower Fund from different businesses around town, buys flowers for putting on pots that we hang from the poles all over town. Scott, you've been doing that for a long time for the city. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, gee, it was started by Judy Babiak, and I would say, wow, you caught me off guard with that one.
That's all right.
Probably 12, 15 years.
Yeah. Well, they are a beautiful addition to our downtown area and up and down Broad Street, turning the corner over there on Milton. And flowers are the kind of thing that just strikes a chord of beauty throughout the community, regardless of what kind of flowers you're putting around. Have you noticed that people have realized that that's the sort of eternal decoration as opposed to any other kind of decoration?
We have quite a few people that make a pilgrimage to Newton Falls every year just to see the hanging baskets. It's surprising. I get a lot of people come in say, "Hey, it's my time this week. We come every year on this date just to view your hanging baskets. Thank you." And actually, I had 3 people yesterday who I had no idea who they were came and expressed their pleasure with the hanging basket. So,
Yeah,
and I would encourage anybody who likes those hanging baskets to please donate to the Flower Fund. You can send it to the Annex building and help with this project.
yeah. By the way, that number is 330-872-0806, and the flower program is administered through the city by Kathy King. 872-0806. Well, the question that I've had a few people call me about as relates to flowers is involving what's coming up very shortly. We're going to be in the winter season, and the real question is, given the supply chain problem, will people be able to get poinsettias this winter to decorate their homes?
Absolutely. I grow them myself,
Ah,
and they were ordered, and there'll be at least at Nussel's there'll be plenty this year.
plenty of points. By the way, do you say poinsettia or poinsettia? What is your pronunciation?
Poinsettia.
Very good. Yeah, you just gained 2 more points with me, Scott. And you know the mystery that some people have actually said, "Well, I'm afraid of the poinsettias because they're poisonous for animals." Is there truth to that, and or is it just an old wives' tale?
Years ago, a agronomist from Ohio State, professor, would actually eat a couple leaves off of a poinsettia.
Okay.
It's strictly that sap you see is a latex, so it's not good for you, but and it may make you a little sick, but I don't think it's going to kill you.
All right. So we may see indigestion if the house cat is nibbling on the leaves,
Exactly.
but we're not gonna be holding funerals for Tabby this year.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Scott. Well, we're just delighted. Talk about a small business that has been proven to be mighty. We thank you for everything you've done. No one's been to a funeral or a wedding in Newton Falls without having an opportunity to see the beauty that your shop comes up with. Tell us a little bit about your hours and your shop, Scott.
We're here from 8 till 5, Monday through Friday. Saturday, I'm open from 8 till 3. As I stated before, we have a website, nusselflorist.com. And the phone number here is 330-872-5291.
Sure. And that's up on our screen right now, 330-872-5291. You can talk to Scott Nussel of Nussel's Florist yourself. Well, Scott, thanks for all you do for our community, the way you've and your family and ownership through the years have been an anchor here in town. And I hope that's true for many, many years to come. Thanks, Scott. You have a great weekend.
You bet. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me on today.
Sure thing.
Take care.
All right, that was Scott Nussel of Nussel's Florist. Again, maybe a small brick in that mighty tower of the business community of Newton Falls, but brick by brick by brick, every small business means an awful lot to us. 1,000 small businesses equate to as much business activity as 2 500-person businesses. And in fact, the thing about small businesses is that no matter how small they are, there are other people where there are ripple effects with the things that they need, that they order, that they employ. And just look around town. Most of our business activity are these small businesses that are the heart of Newton Falls and the heart of America. Well, that brings me to the end of another one of our Newton Falls activities. One thing I wanted to mention too is that tomorrow, before we go off the air, we are having our farmers market, come rain or shine, and that is tomorrow over at the community park. So make sure you get there. I'm looking there for hours, Tom, and I'm not seeing it. So I presume that it is 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Okay, there we go, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the farmers market. And they've really drummed up a lot of different vendors, folks. So there's more than just buying some tomatoes, corn, and parsley leaves. It's a whole array of things. It's really a community event, so get yourself over there. Well, that brings us to the end of another one of our morning updates. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And as I say at the end of each one of these, God bless America, and God bless the city of Newton Falls.